Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. As you can tell from the title, I'm going to be filming a full day in the life of an online university student. And even though I am coming to the end of my masters, I just thought I would show you what a typical day in my life looks like right now. So I hope you enjoy this video. Definitely give it a thumbs up if you do. I am also going to be answering some of your questions from Instagram a bit later in this video, all about my research project. So yeah, I started my day as I usually do. My morning routine is already on my channel, so that involves just making sure I know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of that day, and then I always tend to get started with some work on my research project first thing in the morning, just because I feel really motivated to do so. To get you up to speed, if you didn't know, I am an online university student at UCL. I've been studying at home this whole time. I am doing a master's in cancer biology, and the final part of my degree involves doing a data analysis project, which is basically what I'm doing right now. I regret staying up until past midnight yesterday, but the sun has come out, which has put a smile on my face. Look at that. Look at that sunshine. So that morning I did do a very light and low intensity workout, just because the day before I'd been on a long run, although I was sweating a lot more than expected because it was quite hot. I literally didn't realize I was sweating that much. Oh my god, that's disgusting. And then straight away afterwards, to obviously rinse off my sweat, I had a shower, got changed again, and then basically made myself my post-workout breakfast, classic Holly smoothie. You guys know the drill. I woke up this morning with like a really bad headache, but I've just like limited my screen time this morning, especially on my phone, which is like a small screen, and it seems okay now, which is like good. I just woke up and I was like, oh my gosh. At the start of this video as well, I did just want to say a huge shout out to The New Scientist, who is sponsoring this video. And as you guys probably know, The New Scientist is literally my favorite magazine. Like, it's not even my favorite science magazine, it is my favorite magazine, and I have loved it since school when I first got the magazines. You know, I can definitely sit here and say that I wouldn't be the biology geek that I am today. I don't even know if I'd have gone to study biology at university had it not been for The New Scientist and me reading the magazine, which is really crazy for me to say, but it genuinely changed my whole perspective on science. So in that respect, I recommend the magazine to any student at school or any university student studying like a science degree, because I genuinely think that it can really help someone decide what they want to do, whether they want to actually go into science, whether it's like health science, biology, physics, environmental science, you know, like any field within science. I think the magazine and reading articles within The New Scientist, you can gauge if it's really what you enjoy or not. And even like reading the articles when I've been at university and even now, I just really feel it gives me a fresh perspective on science, because I'm often reading really kind of like heavy and dense papers. There are so many things that they talk about, and new articles come out every single day, so there's always something to read. And I mean, like, even if you're not into science yourself, I still think people can find something enjoyable and interesting to read, because, you know, science is for everyone. This is the magazine I was actually reading this morning, and I was reading an article. It was about like self-driving cars. You know, like, that is science in itself. It's about like artificial intelligence, machine learning, kind of a bit physicsy, but you know, it's like fully relatable, really fun and engaging, and as I said, it's for anyone. So if you do subscribe to The New Scientist, what you basically get is a weekly print magazine, as I said, which you can also get in a digital form, but on top of that, you also get access to like over 30 years of their archived content, so you can just go back and back in time. You also get access to science talks, which are available as like on-demand videos, and there are like over 200 of those. You can go to like subscriber only events, there are 4 of those throughout the year, and you also get like crosswords in the magazines as well. So because you guys are watching this video and The New Scientists are sponsoring this video, you can get a very exclusive offer. In my description box there is a link, and if you click that link, you can get 6 magazines for literally just £1 or €1 or $1 US, which is a huge saving. Like, 6 magazines for literally £1. Please don't miss out on the offer and just get yourself some magazines. So yeah, a huge shout out again to The New Scientist for sponsoring this video. And yeah, as I said, I'm working on my projects today. A bit later in this video, I am going to be sitting down and answering some of your questions from Instagram, just because I feel like you have a lot of questions about my masters and my project. So yeah, we need a big catch up really. I will leave timestamps down below to that section. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to get on with some work and drink this Shrek coloured smoothie. The sun literally doesn't know what it's doing today. It doesn't know if it's coming or going or I don't even know. Anyway, what I'm doing, what I have been doing today and for the past few days, I've been like writing my discussion section of my project or my dissertation. So this is like the biggest section. It's like the big chunk that comes at the end where you like talk about your results, you discuss them, you explain them, you interpret them. And yeah, it's like the most important section, I'm gonna say, because it does form like 50% of the total mark of the project. I did finish a draft over the weekend, but I'm now going back through it in so much detail. I'm doing more reading because I just get tied up in reading more papers. I find new information and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should add that and that and that. So yeah, that is what we're doing today. Basically, I have it up on my Mac. Like, what is this weather doing? I don't understand. The rain is now back. I just don't get it. Ah. Okay, so although it may be grey and miserable looking outside, the sound of rain when you're working is actually really therapeutic, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, as I said, I was just working on my discussion section, so this involves me doing a bit more reading and then writing up some notes and then implementing my notes into my actual discussion section. And this section really does take so much brain power and concentration because I really have to think about what I'm trying to write and make sure that I'm writing it in a way that makes sense, if you know what I mean. I'm actually so cold with the window open, but without the window open it just feels too like stagnant in here. Oh, my brain is actually hurting right now. I don't have a headache, but it hurts because it's just me like maybe overthinking things, but I don't think I'm overthinking things. I just feel like I don't have enough information, or we don't know enough yet to answer the questions that I'm trying to find answers to, which is really annoying. I'm just sitting here like going round in circles, searching and searching and searching and not finding the answers, but I don't think we have the answers yet, and it just doesn't make sense. But it wouldn't make sense because we don't have the evidence for the stuff I'm trying to work out. Oh, you see this t-shirt, it's so big. I often just sit here with my arms in it like this. This is what I sit here and do. I just look like a penguin. Anyway, okay, I have just moved to sit on my bed. I've done a bit more work, but as I said, I'm gonna answer some questions that you guys sent in on Instagram. I posted this as a poll on my Instagram story. If you want to follow me on Instagram to get involved next time, you can follow me at veganholyg. Where are these questions? Okay, here we go. I could have made this into a whole separate video, but okay, let's just try and get through as many as possible. So, what is the title of your thesis? So, the first thing to say is that we had to pick from different titles that were proposed by different research groups working at UCL. We picked our top 10 and then we were assigned a project. I was super lucky and I got my first choice. And in terms of the title, I'm not going to say what it is exactly, but obviously I am doing research into a particular form of cancer. We basically think this cancer is being driven by a particular chromosomal translocation event. So what that means, if you haven't studied biology before, basically in this cancer, two genes are brought together abnormally, and because they don't normally interact in a cell, that is going to disrupt the function of that cell and contribute to growth of the cancer sort of thing. So my research is basically trying to investigate and understand, or better understand, how this translocation, this fusion protein, drives cancer in this particular form of cancer. So yeah, that is what I'm doing. The next one I'm going to answer is how are you finding it compared to your undergrad dissertation. So I'm now kind of in like the writing stages, and that is fairly similar to my undergrad one. Well, actually, is it? Okay, so my undergrad dissertation was a like literature-based project. I didn't do any lab work. I wasn't even doing my own data analysis. I was basically just writing up a dissertation based on published studies, whereas for this I'm obviously doing my own data analysis and then I'm doing a literature review kind of alongside, and I'm looking at other studies and trying to collectively bring all that data together. So I would say that it's more, there's like a lot more to do in this project. They're both in the field of cancer, but they are still very different. Yeah, I would say this one has been more challenging. Questions that came up quite a lot were about the coding and the programming that I am using, or those I had to learn. So I I'm actually quite grateful. I didn't have to do like too much coding, and I didn't have to learn to use like R or Python or anything. Obviously I did try and prepare myself a bit for that just in case, but you know, I only had to code scripts using like command line and terminal, and then I used some other freely available softwares that you just download and then you kind of like follow their guides on the website. So I was coding, but it wasn't like really intense coding. Okay, somebody asked, where do you get all your data from? So for these projects, obviously because we're not collecting like data in a lab, I was given big data sets. There wasn't any other way around this because obviously we're doing data analysis projects. We need to have data to work with. Do you have a summer break? No, I don't have a summer break. We are working throughout the summer, and then my dissertation is due on the 8th of September. So yeah, that marks the end of my master's like entirely. Are you enjoying your work? Yes, I am definitely enjoying it. Like I really am finding it super interesting to, you know, like analyze data that somebody else has collected, yes, but to analyze it and then find information that nobody else has seen yet is really cool to me. How do you organize your research into a document to show your supervisor? So obviously every week I have meetings with my supervisor, as I've shown you guys in vlogs and stuff. I basically just put it into a PowerPoint every week. I've just like summarized what I've done, and then I talk through it sort of thing, or we talk through it and we discuss it sort of thing. That is just how I've done it, and it's been really useful for me as well, because often when I have so much stuff going on, it's nice to just take a bit of time to compile everything, to summarize everything, and that has meant it's been easier for me to write up stuff. I think that's been really good. So I've been doing that basically on a weekly basis. Like every week I've been like, okay, what have I done? And I put it into a PowerPoint, and you know, I summarize it, I describe it myself, and then that would help me talk through it with my supervisor. And as I said, it ultimately helped me when I'm writing up. Do you have to write a thesis at all? Yes, that's basically what we're doing. We're writing it up. It's called like a dissertation or a thesis. It's almost like a research paper that you'd find online, as in it has like an introduction, well, an abstract, introduction, method section, result section, and a discussion, and then all of my references. So it's very similar to a research paper, but it is longer, as in the word count is 11,000 words plus or minus 10%. So it's like a big research paper. It's not as long as a PhD thesis, they're so long, but it is still quite chunky, you know. When do you have to be done with your project? As I said before, it's the 8th of September. That is the due date. So around that time I will be a little stressful. Do you expect to get a publication from your work? I don't think so. As I said, we've all been given data as students to work with. With my research group, they basically have a paper that has not yet been published. It's in review, and so some of the work that I've done, I don't know, might go into that paper, and if so, I suppose I'd get my name on the paper. But as I said, I don't think that is going to happen, to be honest with you. How do you stay organized with the actual write-up? So as I said, that's what I'm doing now, and what I've been doing is I've been following the structure that I used when I was writing my undergrad dissertation. So I have a whole video on that. I have a whole video about how I wrote my dissertation, and so my main strategy is basically to, you know, have a big document of all of my notes, and then to color code that and to assign that to different sections, and it allows me to highlight key concepts and then go through all of my readings and say, you know, what research matches my kind of key concepts I'm trying to pull out or portray in my discussion section of my writing. So I'll link my dissertation writing video on the screen and down below for you guys. I don't know if this is a joke, but somebody has said, how is the Excel data analysis going? Yes, I did do quite a bit of data analysis on Excel. It actually turned out okay. For the first few weeks, I was doing it in a way that was almost correct, but not the best way to go about it. But then I just had discussions with both of my supervisors. I kind of have two supervisors. One of my supervisors is like the main supervisor. He's like the leader of this research group. And then my supervisor, who I speak to every week, is like just a researcher within that lab. But when I spoke to both of them and I was like, you know, this data just doesn't look quite right, and I explained to them how I did it, they were like, oh, okay, we can talk through how, you know, it would have been better to do. So it turned out okay, but you know, I did have quite a few weeks of struggling to get it done. Like, what are you actually doing? Well, for most of my projects, I've been doing like data analysis, which takes longer than you think. I was trying to explain this to everyone at home, but to me it feels like doing individual experiments, but just on my computer. And those individual experiments, I have to repeat them and do them using different data sets. Like, it takes time, and my MacBook, yes, almost blows up. You can imagine it. You can hear the sound right now. But yeah, so for most of the project, I've been doing the data analysis, and then alongside I've been doing reading and researching stuff. And now I've come to the point when I'm like done basically with my data analysis. I had to like put together my figures, so I had to make them look presentable and stuff and organize them on the page. And now I'm just like writing everything up. What new things have you learnt in your project? The main thing I would say that I've learnt is, you know, I have learnt a bit of coding. I've learnt how to use these programs, especially command line. Like, I did quite a bit with command line, and I had to like write my own kind of like script to generate certain results. Doing all of that and learning about what the data meant and, you know, what data I was given was challenging, but also really insightful, and I learned a lot from doing that. So definitely the kind of like data analysis, like I've never done anything like that before. How long does it take? Our whole project has been like 3 months-ish, just over 3 months. This is quite an interesting one. Somebody has asked basically like, do I need to communicate with other members of the research group, and if so, how? Not really. I've only really spoken to my 2 supervisors, and that's been it. However, if I needed to speak to other members of the research group, like if I needed to talk to them about certain like programs that I'd be using, then that would be okay. Like, you're okay to do that, and you can communicate on Teams. So like the whole research group basically communicates on Teams. It would be easy to do, but I haven't had to do it, sort of thing. A few questions are related to like, well, quite a few questions are related to how much time I've been spending on it. So I don't know exactly. I don't like tally up the hours, to be honest with you. But it has been like my priority, obviously. That's why my kind of YouTube videos have been a bit sporadic and all over the place. We are recommended, or we're supposed to be working on our projects for at least 40 hours a week. So it's basically like a full-time job. I obviously don't work like set hours every day, but I am working on it quite a lot, let's just say that. Okay, how do you handle all the data? At the start, it was so difficult to kind of like handle everything and actually understand what data I was being presented with, because there was, first of all, so much of it, and secondly, because I'd never seen data like this before. But now I get what my data is showing me. I know what I've been given, I know what I'm working with, and obviously I've processed it in different ways, and I've derived results from that. But yeah, at the start it was really, really difficult. It took me a while to get my head around it, and it also took up so much space on my MacBook. Like, I've had to store some of it on my external hard drive. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna answer. I was trying to pick out the ones that were kind of like recurring. So yeah, I hope that's kind of given you an insight into what my project is about, what I've been doing for these past few months, because, you know, I kind of kept you in the dark with my project. I've obviously been doing it, and you've been seeing me doing it in vlogs, but I haven't specifically sat down and talked to you about what it's about, what I'm doing. So yeah, that is my little Q&A for this vlog. If you do have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments section, and I can address them in other vlogs. Well, anyway, downstairs in the kitchen, I just made myself lunch. It was a very typical lunch for me. When my head is in my research project, I don't really think too much about what I'm making and eating. So this was just a salad with sweet potatoes, my favorite edamame, a hummus and balsamic vinegar dressing, and a ton of salad. And yeah, I always take a lunch break, as I've mentioned in recent videos. So this is normally about an hour. I just spend time on my phone, and yeah, I allow my brain to have a little bit of a break before I get back to it upstairs in my room. I am currently under trees, but I felt drops of rain. I don't know if this is going to be a bad idea going on a walk right now, but basically I was going to do like an alternation session. Oops. See? The water just dripped on my eye. I was going to do like an alternation session where I worked on writing my project, and then I edited, and then I alternated. You guys know my alternation sessions, like I love them. So I was going to do that, but my MacBook just wouldn't open Final Cut. Every time I opened it, it just crashed. So I restarted the computer thinking like the tech whiz that I am. That didn't work though, so I was like, okay, what else can I try? And I realized I hadn't done the update, so I put it to do the update. So that is going to take a bit of time. It's definitely raining right now. Oh, we're just gonna keep going. I'm also really cold just in a t-shirt. Like, I made that mistake again. But yeah, I started to epilate my legs, and I was like, you know what, let's just go on a walk, because it's starting to get darker earlier, which I hate. Look at the bags under my eyes, by the way. I look really tired. I did say I am tired. I need to go to bed earlier, but is that gonna happen? I don't really think it's gonna happen, to be honest with you. Also, congratulations, Holly, you have a tan line. That is where I've been wearing my Apple Watch. It just shows that you catch even when there's not that much sun, because we just haven't had that much sun in the UK this year. Well, we have had bursts of like heat, but then it's like interspersed with like periods of just so much rain, and we're kind of in one of those spells right now. But you know, this is just my daily complaints about the weather. So I didn't realize that Dad had taken Bali and Java on a walk before me, and I actually found him when I was out and about. So we just finished our walk together, which was really nice. And then when I got back, I just did some strengthening. So I focused on some ab exercises, and basically if you are interested in some workout content, I have some stuff going on at the moment on my Instagram as reels, but I will be bringing a lot more workout content to my YouTube channel as well soon in the future. So at the moment, for example, as I am recording this voiceover, I am filming a week of workouts for you guys. So yeah, I did some ab exercises for no more than 15 minutes. I was dancing for a lot of it, and then I got back to my desk to do a bit more writing of my discussion section, and then I actually managed to work out what the problem was with Final Cut Pro and my editing. Oh my gosh. So that is a lovely Holly concentrated face right now, but I got it to work. Look, we actually have footage to edit. Basically, I solved the issue on my own with the help of Google, but basically one of my libraries, something in that was corrupt, because I eventually worked out that every time I tried to open that library after I like reinstalled Final Cut and reset everything, you know, every time I opened that library, it crashed. So there was something obviously wrong with that file. So I had to go to my backups and open it from that. And yeah, I managed to sort it out. Like, as you can see, I'm editing it. I've just been doing that for the last half an hour. So I will obviously finish it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm gonna go and have a shower now. I think I'm just gonna roll out my muscles quickly because I didn't do that before. And then I also just need to get a playlist ready for tomorrow and set up a timer, because I'm actually doing a live workout on Instagram. I obviously use my new favorite thing at the moment, my massage gun, and my muscles were really quite tight today, so I'm very glad I did it. And then I just had a shower, put my pajamas on, and went downstairs to have my food. Honestly, we just need to take a moment to appreciate how good corn on the cob is, even though it was a bit black. It was so good. I love corn on the cob. And yeah, I'm normally reading whilst I'm eating my dinner, as I've said in my evening routine. And then if you have seen that video, you'll know that my time to watch Love Island comes next. I really do enjoy this part of my day. I literally just switch off and I watch something that actually makes me laugh quite a lot. So yeah, that basically is gonna bring my day to a close. As I said at the start, definitely give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to stick around. I thought I would leave you with a cute little clip of myself and Milka, and she would, you know, say goodbye to you all, but instead Dad had other plans to say goodbye to you all.